What is up, everybody? Bootman here, and we are back with another Marvel Snap video. And in this video, I'm gonna go over 16 decks that got people to Infinite within days, within less than a week in this Spider-Verse season. All right, and I want to share them with all of you. Okay, but before we get started, if you're new here, hi, my name is Chris. I also go by Bootman, and if you love Marvel Snap as much as I do, especially the competitive aspect, ranking up the ladder, if you're stoked about the new Conquest mode that's coming next week, if you wanna learn a new deck, card strategies, all that kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. The channel's been blowing up lately. We need like a little less than 500 more. And you guys, this month is my birthday month. On June 23rd, it's my birthday. So an amazing gift that you can give me is just hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends, say, hey, you like this game? You like digital card games? Come subscribe to this channel, all right? And we will hit 10,000 subscribers. But in addition to that, we also have an awesome Discord community down in the description below. And make sure you're following me on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ. I've also linked down the description below. I do a bunch of giveaways. Every single season, I give away 3 Marvel Snap season passes, all right? But you gotta be subscribed, gotta be following me on Twitter, all right? And recently, I've been doing a bunch of DC Dual Force beta key giveaways, all right? So make sure you're subscribed, follow it, I'll hook you up, all right? And you get amazing content. How sick is that, all right? So anyways, yeah, just for those of you who are new here, I try to do this the first week of the season every single month when people are hitting Infinite and everything. So when I see Infinite decks, because I'm constantly looking for new decks, just different ideas for decks, deck strategies, see if anything fits my play style, you know, because I like to rank up, I like to win. That's my thing, right? And I keep them all in a Google Doc. So I like to share that Google Doc with all of you. So that's down in the description. So don't worry if you don't like write these down or you see a bunch, because I get a bunch of these. Just go to the Google Doc, I share it, you can click on them. I find most of my decks on Twitter, okay? Like a lot of the decks, like you know, I love the Marvel Snap community on Twitter. So I'm always there and people are like, hey, I hit Infinite, and people share it and stuff. And I just keep track of them in a Google Doc. So I always recommend like, thinking outside the box for decks. Like, and what you'll see here is that we have decks from all sorts of different series that have, you know, some are like, you know, mainly series 3, some have series 4 and series 5 cards and stuff. But I guarantee with these lists that I compile, you'll see that there are so many different decks that can help you get to Infinite, all right? So anyways, let's jump into this. All right, so anyways, well, first off, you'll notice right here in the top left corner, you're like 100% of donations go to Nami. All right, so I left that up there because this weekend I'm doing the DC Dual Force beta streams. I've been playing DC Dual Force, and I decided to turn it into a charity live stream. So, fun fact, aside from it being my like actual birthday month, I also got sober 11 years ago on my birthday, all right? Kicked the alcohol and the drugs on June 23rd, 2012. So mental health is a huge, huge deal for me. And I figured, hey, if we're gonna be live streaming to a bunch of people, why not do a charity live stream? So if you come, join, hang out, 100% of the Super Chat donations go to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, all right? Great organization, helping people with mental health issues, spreading awareness. I believe they're tied into some of the like surveying and research and stuff like that. Super cool organization. I'm donating all the money there. So if you wanna just come swing by, donate a few bucks, come hang out. All right, so anyways, let's get started. So there's like 16 and a half decks, all right? So I lumped myself and Brad's decks together. So Brad is my co-host. And by the way, with where my thing is, you're not gonna like see them, but this is Brad, my co-host on the Snap On Ego podcast. By the way, a lot of you said that you haven't seen the podcast or didn't even know we had a podcast. Check it out. We post it every 2 weeks. It's bi-weekly. This week we did an emergency episode. Anyways, I gave Brad a bunch of crap because he hit Infinite this season using a Galactus deck. All right, but he flew through it. The amount of people using move decks, and we talk about this in the podcast, the amount of people doing move decks and stuff like that, Galactus was just an easy call to rank up. And for those of you who don't know, Galactus is like, it's been confirmed, I believe, that Galactus is being nerfed, or they're like talking about it like this month. Okay, so you know, we gave Brad a pass to use Galactus before he potentially gets nerfed, okay? But then the second deck on this list, this is why I said 16 and a half, is because I used the same list, but as you can see, Brad in the 1-drop slot has Yondu. I got my boy Howard, all right? So by the way, like you can change this up if you want. The main Series 5 card, aside from Galactus, is Iron Lad and Jeff. Okay, you don't need them. You could put Wolverine in here. A bunch of the Galactus decks are going to do good. So anyways, Iron Lad basically gives you another chance at Galactus. If you don't draw Galactus, you know, you got Iron Lad. Well, Brad doesn't have Howard the Duck, and I don't even know if he would put him in if he had him, because a bunch of people are Howard the Duck haters. Brad actually is a fan of Howard the Duck. But anyways, Howard lets us see the top card of our deck constantly. So like, I hit Infinite just within a few days too, and one of the reasons I did it is because I didn't want to play Cloning Vats. Like, Cloning Vats was just very annoying. I was just like, whatever. And this deck did great. But like, man, when you have Howard the Duck, and you know for a fact that your Iron Lad is gonna hit Galactus, like it's gangster, all right? And like, you're basically getting a 6-power Galactus. So, you know, that could be a good or bad thing depending on how the situation is, because with 6 power, you might go into there having priority, so that then if you're dropping like Null or whatever, you know, they can Shang-Chi you, you know, but we have Spider-Man in here. And by the way, this deck, all of these were pre-OTA patch. So this was right before Spider-Man got changed to a 5 cost, because he was a 4/3 and now he's a 5/4. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Basically, you play, you try to hit your combo. It's very rare that you're gonna win without your Galactus combo with this deck. There's other decks that like run Destroyer, and some other variations, some do Nimrod or whatever, but if you're trying to rank up this weekend before the patch, which I believe comes out Tuesday, the Galactus will help you do it, because a lot of people are experimenting with Move, all right? So that's the first one. Let's go through the other 15. All right, this next one, these are 2 different ones. All right, you're gonna notice some variations of High Evolutionary. I don't feel bad putting these on the list because a ton of you got High Evolutionary. And yeah, so as I kind of go through these, I'll share my opinions. I've tested out a lot of different decks, obviously, so I'll kind of share my opinions. This right here is one of the top decks, and it's one of the reasons, like, so as you can see, Spider-Man, yeah, this was pre-nerf. This High Evolutionary, Control, there's Lockdown types, that are just performing very, very well. I made a video on this the other day. This is a variation of it. Like, mine doesn't have Professor X, and I don't think it has Thing either. But yeah, basically, you're trying to get your Hulk buff, you're trying to stay saving some energy on various turns. So yeah, so one of the reasons Spider-Man's been changed is because you can no longer drop Spider-Man on turn 5, which is also buffing your Hulk because you save some energy. But yeah, you have Storm, you can get in there with Dr. Doom, you can also lock down. Like, mine doesn't have Professor X, and like, I would personally be wary to run this without Daredevil. This might have worked. I'm not sure what Sonny was doing with when he was doing it, but one of the reasons they changed Spider-Man is so you can't Spider-Man on 4, Professor X right over it, you know what I mean? So I don't know if this particular deck would work, but here's a secondary deck he worked, and this is just a Sarah controlled list. You guys, Sarah control is always good. It's always good because tech cards are dope. A lot of people are really promoting Wave though, so be careful. Be careful. If you have a deck that dumps on turn 6, be super careful, all right? So, yeah, but yeah, this Jeff, it could be other things, all right? If you ever see Jeff, think like, it could be Lizard, it could be Nightcrawler if you wanna get into a location, you could do all sorts of stuff. Like, maybe even toss, you know, a Dr. Doom in here or something like that, just in case you get waved, all right? This next one comes from Jam. So this is a Hella list. If any of you have seen me, I rant like crazy about Hella. Like, I'm just not a fan. This one might work a little bit better. This one might work a little bit better. So the one I was running has it has Invisible Woman and MODOK, right? So you really only have like 2 or 3 enablers, and you're basically hoping to hit MODOK. So this is like a very traditional Hella list. Like, this is a Hella list from like before MODOK, right? Like, you have Blade, Moon Knight, Lady Sif, You have Ghost Rider, you have Jubilee that can pull one of your big cards, because you're hoping to just resurrect your big cards with Hela, right? So, like these lists are all right, but like I just hate them because they're so random, and I'm gonna hit my Hela and be in a big mess, you know? And best case scenario, like you Ghost Rider one back, you know, whatever. So give that a try at your own discretion, all right? This next one comes from Baba. He hit infinite with this one. Okay, so this is the deck that I was using, and it's still working. It's still working for him. This was a Hela list, but it has Living Tribunal. I love Living Tribunal. I want to play him some more. I want to play him in Conquest mode, see how he does. But yeah, I've made some video on this. Personally, I switched from this list and started using the Lockjaw version for Living Tribunal. It just felt more consistent to me. All right. The next one up, Jeff's in Control. I like that name. Okay, so this is basically, I'm looking at it, this is very close to the list I used to hit infinite last season. It's a lockdown deck. This one doesn't even run Spider-Man, so you're good. Because like what they said in the OTA change was that they were like changing Spider-Man because lockdown feels bad. It does. It does feel bad to go against it, right? But this is similar to the deck that I used last season. I didn't run this Zero Titania, but it's pretty good. Like on turn 6, dropping like Gamora and Titania. But ideally, like, so I started running this list, or a similar list, when people were just running Destroy, because you have armor, you have Cosmo, right? So you can just dump a ton of stuff, right? So you could do armor, blah, blah, blah. Then you could do a Tuma, like you could just stack a lane. So let's just say we're doing Nebula, we're doing armor, right? And then we're doing a Tuma, and then we're doing Professor X, right? Like you just put a ton of power on one lane, and then you drop 15 power destroyer somewhere where they're not really stacking power. Because sometimes they'll be trying to battle you on the lane where you're like dropping a Tuma and stuff like that. But I'll also tell you this, Claw once wins a silly amount of games. Like I think the last game, the last 8-cuber game I won for the last season was because of Claw. They had like a Dr. Doom, and they're like, oh, what can this guy do? What can this guy do to beat me over here? He puts 5 power in, I put 6. Easy peasy. All right. Next one is a Surfer list. Man, Surfer, like people are doing good with Surfer. People are doing good with Surfer. I just always crack up because everybody, once Surfer got nerfed, Surfer got a little nerfer, you know what I mean? Everybody's like, oh my God, Surfer's dead, right? The meta, the only thing that's really changed is that they nerfed Shuri, you know, a couple months ago, but Surfer has always just been consistent. I personally don't like the decks. Like I personally just find them like kind of boring, but I do want to try, I don't know if I have another list on here, but I do want to try some lists that have like Shadow King in them. There's a bunch of people using Shadow King, which makes me happy. Shadow King's been very good against bounce decks, even move decks, because he turns everything back to their original base power. But I also want to try a list with my girl, Negasonic Teenage Warhead too, because you know, so many people are like, oh, her buff doesn't matter because she explodes anyways. No, I played a lot of Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and sometimes people just leave her on the board. So if you have a Surfer, now she's getting bonus power, you know, once you get Surfer, it's pretty dope. So I do want to try a list like that. All right. So here is another variation of the high Evo control list. So as you can see, this is not the Dr. Doom one. So this is running Luke Cage and everything, and they're just you're trying to save energy throughout. So you get this big Hulk, lock down a lane. They said in the OTA balance that they did some of the Spider-Man changes because of high evolutionary. So I am curious over the next week how well this specific list does. All right, next up, we have, so this is another high evolutionary list, very similar, but it's a combination of the last two, okay? This has Professor X, but it also uses Daredevil. So I might be a fan of that one. Oh, and this comes from our buddies over at Snapdex. Nice. Make sure you follow them on Twitter. They share a ton of decks. All right. So right here we have a Patriot Lad disc list. So this one's running Iron Lad with Patriot. Brad and I have talked about this list a million times. For some people, they're killing it. They're killing it. But for me, I don't find it that powerful. There's too many people running Enchantress. There's too many people running Rogue. You know what I mean? And the thing is, like, Onslaught is so powerful, like when you stack it. And, oh, this list isn't even running Mystique. That's interesting. That's interesting. And by the way, I know we're 15 minutes in and like halfway through this list, but by the way, I wish I remembered this at the beginning. There was a glitch with, or a bug with the season reset. So I've been trying to make this list by asking people, or they say what rank they started at. So like, see, you can't see here. If you go to the tweet, he started at rank 78, okay? So basically the bug was, if you went past infinite, it resets you 30 ranks from wherever you were at. Previously, it reset us back to 70 no matter what. But like I started at rank 83 this season because I finished at like rank 113, 114, something like that. So this season was bugged. So I'm not like showing you lists from people who were like ranked 99 and got to infinite. This is all I'm saying. But be cautious this season as people share infinite lists. Like, you have to ask them, what rank did you start at? What rank did you start at? Because if somebody's like, hey, I hit infinite in 2 days with this list and they started at rank 95, like, that's a lot different than somebody starting at rank 70. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so this is a move list. All right. And by the way, Iron Lad, like, especially in this list, like, because I know some of these have Iron Lad, and Iron Lad wasn't as purchased as High Evolutionary, but just know, very replaceable in this list. Like, I might even put, like, I don't know, like this list, you could probably put Wave. There's a list that KM Best was running, and it was similar, and it was running Wave. So like, feel free to just replace Iron Lad, because you have an Arrow, you have a Heimdall, you have something big, and a Wave list. If you don't have Iron Lad, you drop Wave and Cloak on turn 5, so you can move stuff and get buff, and your opponent can only drop 1. It's very powerful. I really like that combo. But anyways, here's a move deck. Uses the season pass card Ghost Spider. Ghost Spider's a lot more fun than I thought it was. But yeah. So they use move to 90, and then they use this Shadow King Surfer list. So yeah, here's a list. This one runs Shadow King. So if you wanna do him proud, go for it. Yeah, but like I said, Shadow King's just really good right now with the current meta. You just got to make sure you order these things correctly. Like, just don't like drop Shadow King before your Surfer, right? So you reduce your opponent's power, especially if you're going in without priority. You reduce their power, buff yours. Super cool. Next up, we got a Kitty Pride list. So I made a video on this deck the other day. Super duper duper strong. Okay, now since the OTA patch, they did nerf Hood and Beast, which I personally do not think is a big deal. I played a bunch of bounce afterwards with Beast, who's now a 3/4, and I don't think it's a huge deal. I don't think it's a huge deal. Time will tell. We'll see what happens. Hood, you're trying to remove Hood anyways. So like, especially if you're able to bash your Hood, like, it literally doesn't matter. So like, the Hood change wasn't even a big deal. I think they could have just left that card alone. I don't think it's gonna change much. But yeah, I think bounce is still fine. The only thing is, like I've been saying, is a lot of people are running Wave. So if people are running Wave, if you suspect that their deck is running Wave, just dump as much stuff as you can on turn 5. All right? Like, if you're like, this deck might be playing Wave, dump as much stuff on turn 5. All right. So here's a High Evolutionary Wave list. This looks like an interesting list. I don't know why the graphic is so crappy. But anyways, yeah, so this has Wave, Doom. It's going, you have Abomination too. So this is going 1, so I'm saying what does, yeah. Okay, cool. So it has Wasp, Cyclops, the Thing to reduce Abomination. Because less and less people, like the first day of High Evolutionary, everybody was running Abomination, but now a lot more people are going towards the energy saving route and dropping Hulk. So they use this from 88 to 96, and then they use a Surfer deck with Shadow King. Yeah, Goose is also pretty dope. I love Goose. I want to use Goose in so many decks. All right. So this next one is the Moldy Ghost. Okay. Oh, and this comes from streamer Nicolina. All right. So she is running. This is interesting. This is interesting. So Fast is Infinite. So she took this from 73 to Infinite, and she said she had about a 70% win rate in this. This looks interesting. I might try this. So I was running like a bounce move deck. I made a video on it. Super fun. But this is like bounce move, but it has master mold. I need to I need to ask her about that because like I'm wondering why the master mold. You know what I mean? Like usually master molds with um like Ronin. But yeah, this also runs Goose. This is interesting. I think I added this just because I want to try it. Very interesting list. All right. But yeah, you have I made a whole video of a very similar deck. But yeah, you have low-cost stuff that you can bounce back. Like you can Iron Fist Torch. Meanwhile, you're dropping your Kitty Pryde on Angela. You have Ghost Spider. So like such a sick combo. It's just Iron Fist into Human Torch into Ghost Spider. Like then you bounce it back. Like that's nasty. Because you could swoop up with your Falcon, Iron Fist, and Human Torch. Like it's disgusting. All right, we got a few more. So this, we have a Sarah list. Oh, this is a toxic Sarah list. Very cool. I played one of these for a while, a couple seasons ago. I was actually running Negasonic Teenage Warhead. That was the deck I played the most, and it was really, really good. So yeah, I think basically I had Negasonic in for Absorbing Man. But yeah, this is pretty cool. When you have Zabu in here, I really like this. Like this is something I used to do a lot with Zabu because I'm a tech card junkie, is Zabu, and then you have Shang-Chi, Enchantress, and Absorbing Man, right? So depending on the situation, and you have double cost reduction here, so you can get your 4 costs down to 2. You can technically, like if you Sarah on 5 and you have Zabu out, you can run all 3 of these on the last turn. But this way, if they have 2 ongoings in separate lanes, if they have 2 really powerful cards on separate lanes, you could double Enchantress, you could double Shang-Chi. I like it. All right, so this is a Cerebro 3. I think I just added a lot of decks that I found that hit Infinite using Shadow King because it makes me so happy. Like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew. Like, every card eventually is good. Like, I just think it's terrible for people. Like, so many people just crap on cards. I'm like, yeah, but you got to look at the potential, right? The meta is constantly changing. Like, I get it. Like, I totally understand. Like, people are saying, like, no, it's not worth 6,000 tokens, blah, 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 blah. Like, nothing is. But just, like, look at cards and, like, because people, here's what my opinion is. People need to separate this card sucks from this card is too expensive, right? Because there is a very big difference between those two things. Because if I tell you something sucks, it basically means never get it, right? And I think what happens is people think it's not worth 6,000 tokens, and in order to justify that opinion, they start saying it sucks. Like people were talking like Shadow King would never be good. Like I wanted Shadow King because he came out at the height of the Surfer meta, right when Surfer was on top, and my tech cards couldn't do anything against that. And Shadow King was the answer to take out Brood and stuff. So anyways, what I'm getting at, a lot of people are wrong about a lot of cards. Eventually they have their time to shine. Are they worth 6,000? Most of them aren't, but 3,000 for sure. But there's like all this slander, like when people would like open up Shadow King in a reserve, they'd be like, I got Shadow King. Shut up and take your free card, all right? All right, so here's the last one. So the last one was an Orca list. This one seems pretty interesting. I want to give it a try. Like, yeah, like Orca, I'm glad Orca's getting a little bit more play since he got buffed, but like, you guys, don't forget, like, Orca is an 11 power card, right? Like, he's an 11 power card. Like, So if for some reason you can't drop your destroyer, you got Orca here, I would definitely give this list a try. So yeah, again, if you don't have Jeff, just like, so it's this already runs Nightcrawler, maybe drop a Lizard, something like that. You know what I mean? All right, but anyways, those are all the decks. I will link the Google Doc down in the description below, so make sure you check it out if you want to keep up with these decks. And yeah, that's all I got for this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you're new, again, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell. It's my birthday month, all right? Help me get to 10,000 subscribers, okay? We'll do it together. And you can join our awesome Discord community. Follow me on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ. Everything's linked down below. I do a bunch of giveaways. I'm giving away hundreds more DC Dual Force beta keys this weekend. I give away season passes every season. We have a good time here. We give away stuff, we go over strategy. And yeah, make sure you're just here for during this week when Conquest Mode comes out, because I'm gonna be going nuts on it. All right, so thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.